Oh yeah, Black Ops 6. Here we are. So a few years ago, everything changed. I lost what I once had. I remember it well to this day. I was playing Call of Duty Ghosts and suddenly it hit me. I'm not having fun anymore. There was a group of us. The boys. We all loved to play and just all at once, as if we shared one mind, one thought, it was over. We left Call of Duty forever. Or so I thought. Call of Duty, right under my eyes, had left my side and become something else. Someone I didn't recognize. Before I get started, I just wanted to mention liking and subscribing if you like the channel. Thank you guys. So hey, every year or two, I find myself looking at the commercials, the trailers, the YouTube videos, just like you guys, and feeling like an old friend decided to show their face again. But yet every time I look, it's still that same stranger standing where my friend once was. So this year, just like every other year, I see Black Ops 6. The term Black Ops always takes me back. It takes me back to Nuketown and firing range suddenly. Even Array, where I used to practice and play private matches with my cousin, fighting the stupid bots. I remember Woods, and Bowman, and Reznov, and Mason. What a story. I remember Black Ops 2 even. What a blast that multiplayer was too. With Black Ops 1, I'll never forget that deer hunter scene. Woods screaming Bowman and the look on his face. Man, that changed me as a kid. I find myself asking, where did Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 5 go? Did I miss those? And then, this year, I saw Black Ops 6 was going to be on Game Pass. And I, for the first time, decided I'm going to give it a chance. It was still that stranger, but it was a much cheaper stranger. So you got me, Microsoft. And I played it. I shook that stranger's hand and said, I'll give you a shot. Now back in the day, I loved the campaign and the multiplayer of Call of Duty. I used to be pretty good too. I started out playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. I think the first match I actually played in was Modern Warfare 2, but I started out with the Modern Warfare games, and World at War I played a lot of too. I remember when the hackers took over that game, it was crazy. But I specifically have a connection with Black Ops because that was my first real game. I started that game when it came out. I leveled up with everyone else. It was a blast. So the Black Ops series really has a special place in my heart. So it was funny when I logged in and the first thing I saw was the code of conduct, which is great, but it made me chuckle because there was no conduct on Nuketown's hallowed grounds back in Black Ops 1. So I couldn't help but laugh. I still remember some of the messages. I don't remember the words, but I remember how they made me feel and how they made me wonder what my mom was doing at that exact moment. The next thing I see is the main menu, where awaiting me in the background is a shadowed man holding 2 pistols. He's got 2 rifles on his back, and his hands are resting over his knees. I recognize him so well. There's that friend. And then I think to myself, they know what they're doing. I specifically remember following every word, what was his name? David Vonderhaar, I think, said. It was a way for me and my friends to bond, to triumph, and build chemistry. We loved looking at every little hotfix, every update, every change to the guns. It was a part of our conversations every single day. We were boys, we were men in the trenches, and man, did we pull out some awesome victories. That's why there's a certain pain that came with Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare for me. In my eyes, that's when everything changed. So when I think of Black Ops 1, I can't help but think of the dolphin dive. I remember the commercials at the time. I remember how silly the dolphin dive looked. It was a very hyped up mechanic in Black Ops 1, and it was fun, funny, and almost completely useless. When it came to Advanced Warfare and we started getting into the fast movement, the jetpacks, the super sliding, the game lost some of its grandeur for me in the loss of movement, or addition of movement that didn't feel good, I should say. I was also a big fan of Battlefield 3 at this time, which still looks great. But to give you a little glimpse of my tastes, which Battlefield 3 is more of a grounded experience. You're moving fast only if you're using vehicles. You're not flying around in jetpacks or anything. But for me, I always enjoyed the silliness of those early Black Ops days. Sticking someone with a crossbow bolt and watching it explode, watching them panic and run around, maybe trying to run towards you so they might kill you too. The ballistic knife battles where if you came around a corner and you happened to find someone else with a ballistic knife or a crossbow, just how silly that fight was going to be. It was always a guaranteed smile. Black Ops 1 and 2 had the crossbow, the dolphin dive, China Lake, RC car, tac dogs, death machine. There were just so many silly ways to fight like that, and man, it was cool. They weren't cheap like some grenade launchers in Modern Warfare 2. It was fairly balanced. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, I'll admit it. But it was a blast and it felt fair as heck. I'm willing to admit, I might have been naive, maybe. But maybe I was a fan. Maybe that's all. It really was the movement that killed it for me. It was too fast-paced in Advanced Warfare, and it left the realm of goofy and became too tryhardy and fast-twitchy. I mean, in Call of Duty Ghosts, you had Michael Myers and Predator. Those were silly, I appreciated that, but something about that game just felt off. The maps looked bad, they were drab, devoid of color in all the wrong ways. The guns didn't feel great, they felt doughy and airy. I distinctly remember the way the guns in Call of Duty Black Ops 1 felt. They felt real and heavy. The FAMAS, the AUG, the Enfield, the little Mac 11, the Commando, the AK, the L96A1, which I can still hear to this day and feel the sound of it firing. Those guns were badass. And the color scheme was drab in the right ways in Black Ops. And Black Ops 2 was colorful in all the right ways. Just like Black Ops. They knew what they were doing. I do want to acknowledge that I was in high school when the game was popping off, so I have that nostalgia factor, and I had all the time in the world to play it. But man, it was fun, and it was real fun. It would have been fun at any age. It was just good. It was reasonably paced. So that's why I'm saying this as a Black Ops series fan, as a Treyarch fan. I want to like this game. So I'm thinking all that going into this. And the first thing I have to do, I have no choice as a fan. I have to go straight to multiplayer, which I did. Wow. I remember seeing the reveal trailer, and the first thing I thought was, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up. This looks kind of like Advanced Warfare. And I want to start all this by saying, man, the amount of times I got killed in the back or right off spawn was bonkers. Some of those maps are terribly designed, in fact, a majority of them. They're too small. They don't give players enough room to have moments or to be tactical, really. You're spawning and then shooting, otherwise you're going to die. Once I played a little more and learned the map layout, it got a little more fun. But man, The maps just mostly weren't interesting and too small for my taste. The only reason that learning the maps improved my experience was because I started to learn spawns so that I could get them in their spawns. It was eat or be eaten in terms of spawns, so it just wasn't something that I enjoyed. Now I get it, this is how they keep people's attention. Basically, playing the game gave me ADHD because I needed to be so hyper-focused and I needed to look around every corner. I just needed to be ready to go at all times, which was fun in a way. It was exhausting too. And I get it, like I said, that's how they keep people's attention, but that's not what I'm looking for as an OG Black Ops fan. I'm looking for things like Array. When I say things, I mean maps. Array, the jungle map that I can't remember. Hanoi was pretty interesting. I could just keep going and going, but I want maps like that so that when we have maps like Nuketown, which they're introducing to this game, they are that much cooler. That's why people really liked Rust in Modern Warfare 2. It was a bloodbath. When you compare it to the other maps in the game, Modern Warfare 2, it was so much smaller because those maps were actually fairly decently sized. You had your areas where you could have tactical battles, maybe just 2v2 or 1v1, and you wouldn't necessarily be interrupted. You could just have a cool tactical battle with someone else. Array had a ton of those. Firing Range even had a decent amount of those. In Black Ops 6, so far from what I can tell, you shoot someone and then you're shot. Unless you do a 360 and you're looking every single direction and it's just absolute madness. Every map in this game except for one snowy one, maybe Red Card, and I think that's about it, felt like Rust, felt like Nuketown. And so I think them introducing Nuketown to the game is actually not going to be that monumental because what made Nuketown so good was how Black Ops had these, in my opinion, fun, large maps. So remember how I said I enjoy the pacing of the Black Ops multiplayer? The original I did? That's not present anymore. That fast pace is really what's throwing me off. I've come back and played Warzone quite a bit, so this doesn't surprise me. It feels similar enough to that. But dang, the tactics are gone. In my eyes, it's more about the reaction. And I can fully acknowledge that I'm rusty as heck. And that's one of the key factors in having good reactions. Just developing that timing, getting used to your sensitivity, getting used to what guns you like, learning the map layouts. I understand all that. But I'm not sure how it's supposed to bring people back when you're paying homage to the original Call of Duty Black Ops, but you're not carrying the traits that made the multiplayer so good. I think that the weightiness of the guns is a nice addition. It feels like they all have nice weight to them when you fire, it feels good. But boy, it's really for me all about the maps. There's this one map that's literally just a street. You spawn and you're pretty much getting shot at, or there's grenades coming in hot. There's a little kind of back alley and a building you can go through, but that street is where it's all going down. That's literally all it is. I did sort of enjoy that snowy map I referenced earlier, and there's another map, it's sort of a train yard map, really fun to go through with an SMG. And the gunplay itself actually feels kind of fun. The hit detection seems weird at times, and the sliding and movement are actually not easy to abuse, which I really appreciated. It was a lot about tactics, and you couldn't just rely on being faster as zipping by someone. As for the campaign, I like what I've played so far. Remember how I said I love the Black Ops 1 campaign? Woods, Bowman, fighting in the jungles, Reznov, the brainwashing, how trippy it is, all that. Well, I'd heard this campaign was a fresh start, that they'd let the writers really breathe, and the levels were interesting and creative. I'd heard they're doing something right, and so far it appears they are. As for zombies, I haven't played it much myself, but my philosophy with zombies, every zombies I've played in every Call of Duty game, I have liked. I don't think you can really design a bad zombie map. You can design some that are worse than others, but the actual game mode is so fun that I'm not too worried about what it looks like in terms of actual map design, stuff like that, because zombies is going to be zombies. It'll probably be fun unless they've added some new gameplay systems that I haven't tried, but for me this experience was really about testing out that COD Black Ops multiplayer. Now I want to be clear about the multiplayer because for me that's the crux of this. I had a lot of fun. I even went back for more after I thought I was done. I played for a few hours one night. The next morning I couldn't wait to play again. I wanted to get right back in there and just enter that chaotic action. But that was when the cracks started to show in the multiplayer for me. I found myself getting frustrated by the spawns, even once I knew them. There were still people who were gaming the system better than I, and there's always going to be those people. It really took away from the experience for me. The maps and the spawns were really the big problems. Actual gameplay, gunplay, everything else felt pretty darn good. It was fun to actually play second to second. So the question is, would I recommend the game? It's a tough question. I'll say immediately, no doubt, $20 on Game Pass. Go for it, try it out. I think you'll have fun with the campaign, zombies, and multiplayer for a bit. I think that $20 for a month is a perfect simmering period because after that month, I know for me, I can already tell, I'm probably going to be all set with it. I think that paying that $20 is a great deal to get the experience you can out of this. I bet the campaign alone is probably arguably worth that. So to get multiplayer on top of that is awesome. Would I pay $70 for this? I would hesitate strongly. Unless they do a lot to improve what's going on with multiplayer, which I don't think they can is the problem, then I wouldn't buy it. These are fundamental problems in the design and the spawn zones, whatever you want to call them, that they won't be able to fix overnight or until the next game, honestly. That would be when they could really fix these things. So I wouldn't recommend it for $70 unless you try that $20 and love it. Again, I think that some people are going to like the fast-paced, fast-twitch nature of this, but me as an OG Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 fan, it just doesn't hit. So to sum it all up, fairly average experience. I really had fun and will still have fun to play it, but it doesn't hit long term, and I can already tell that's going to be the case. So I feel like it's a step in the right direction, but I don't even know if my opinion is common enough to lead to feedback that people want. I don't know if anyone wants that slower pace, but anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.